Okay. Hi, everyone. So today we are going to start seated, actually. So comfortable feet. I'm going to sit in Vajrasana, which is on my heels. But if it's more comfortable for you to sit another way, like cross-legged or something else, then go for it. And wherever you are, just take your hands, rest them on your thighs. Start with your palms facing down. Take a couple of breaths like this. Palms facing down is a more grounding energy. And then from here, flip those palms up and take a couple of breaths like this. Palms face up is a more receiving energy, gathering that energy from the outside versus kind of honing it in. And then you decide to either stay palms face down or palms face up for the next few breaths. Eyes are closed or gaze is soft. Notice the quiet, the little bit of stillness, and then your reaction to the quiet and the stillness. And then when you're ready, gently open your eyes if they're not already. We're going to do a little bit of stretching for the neck today to get started. You're going to reach that right arm up, and you're going to grab the base of the skull on the left-hand side. Then turn your chin to face that right armpit and just gently tug your chin down towards the right armpit. At the same time, that left shoulder presses down away from you. So you feel that lengthening into the side and the back of the neck. Breathe some space there. And then on this next breath, slowly, slowly release that hand. Come all the way back to center with your head nice and slow. And then from here, we'll take the other side. So you're going to reach that left arm all the way up and over, grab the base of the skull on the right side. And then you're going to turn your chin towards that left armpit, gently tug your chin down towards the armpit. From here, press that right shoulder away from the ear. Feel that lengthening through the side and the back of the neck. Direct your breath there and create more space. And then on your next breath, come all the way back to center, nice and slow. Release that hand back down on the thigh for a moment if you're just joining. Hi. Oh, it's Vincent and Nancy, yay. Take your hands to your knees. So you're sitting either in Vinyasa, or if you like to sit in cross-legged and that's better for you, you're sitting there. Hands to your knees wherever you are. And then as you inhale, bring your chest forward, shoulders back, stick your butt out and look up. And then as you exhale, scoop your belly button towards your spine, hunch your shoulders, release your head. Inhale, bring your chest forward, butt back, shoulders back, open the heart, open the throat, release the head. Slowly, slowly, as you exhale, start to round, touch to the shoulders, upper back, belly button towards the spine, let your head come. One more time on your own breath. And then as you inhale, come all the way back to center. Reach your arms up over the head. And then drop that right arm down by the right side. Soften the shoulder away from the ear. I know I do this a lot. I really love that lengthening on the side of the body. Reaching that left arm nice and high. As you exhale, you're going to tip over towards the right. Again, right shoulder softens away from the ear, reaching the left fingertips long. Left arm is alongside that ear as you create more length, more space in the side of the waist through those intercostal muscles, the muscles in between the ribs. Nice full deep breath. And then as you inhale, rise all the way back up, both arms reach high. As you exhale, drop those left fingertips down, soften the shoulder away from the ear, soften that elbow, reach the right arm up and then alongside the ear, find that little tip. So from here, see how much space you can create. Keep that right hip rooted down. And notice how you're creating more space, more length all the way through the right side of the body. And then as you inhale, reach the arms all the way up overhead. And as you exhale, we're working with eagle a lot this week. So you're going to reach your arms out to the side. And then you're going to cross that right arm over the left. Give yourself a hug, walk your fingertips back, create some space in between the shoulder blades. From here, just breathe here. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Notice that sensation that you feel in that upper back and the shoulder. And then take a couple of circles. You're going to roll the shoulders up, back, down, a couple times. And then in the other direction. So up, back, up, forward, down, up, forward, down. One more time. And then finding stillness here. And if you'd like the full expression of eagle back, so the hands touch or a palm touch, but remember, you can keep hugging yourself just like we were doing. From here, forearms yearn away from your face and then lift the elbows up towards the sky. Notice that sensation once again. As you inhale, draw those elbows high, stick the chest just a little forward, look up. And then as you exhale, scoop your belly button towards the spine and hunch those elbows come in towards the belly button. Inhale, create space, lift the elbows, open the throat. Exhale to pull the belly button towards the spine around. One more time. And then inhale, come all the way back to center and then slowly, slowly unravel your arms. Release them out to the side. And then from here, left arm comes on top of right away. Walk the fingertips back, create some space. Soften the shoulders away from the ears once again. And then from here, we'll take a couple of juicy circles. So roll those shoulders up, back, down, forward. Up, back, down, forward. One more time in that same direction. And then go the other way. So up, forward, down. Up, forward, down. And one more time, just like that same direction. Finding a neutral position once again, either stay here or back to the hands touch, maybe palms touch. Yearn those forearms away from you, lift those elbows up high. And then from here, as you inhale, draw the fingertips up, open the throat, look up. And then as you exhale, belly button towards spine, elbows come down, find that round in the upper back. Two more times. Inhale, draw the elbows up, open the heart, look up. Exhale, belly button towards the spine, draw those elbows down. One more time. And then come all the way back to center. When you're ready, slowly, slowly unravel your arms. Reach them out to the side and then drop them down. From here, walk your fingertips out in front of you. You're going to come to your hands and your knees. If you were sitting on your heels for a long time like me, there's going to be probably a lot of sensation in your ankles. Everybody, no matter where you were before, you're going to tuck your toes underneath you. And then you're going to rock your weight back towards your heels. Big stretch comes through the feet. From here, slowly, slowly rock that weight forward. Feel that stretch through the forearms, the compression in the wrists, and then rocking that weight back, sitting towards your heels. One more time. And then coming all the way back to neutral, untucking your toes, tapping out your feet if it feels like you need that. And then from here, we're going to start to get a little into the forearms. So you're going to really ground down through the pads of all 10 fingers And then pushing down through the finger pads, lift up both wrists and see if you can rise all the way up onto the fingertips. And then as you exhale, lower all the way down. So the more weight you have forward, the more intense this is going to be in the forearms, and the more weight you have backwards, the less intense it will be. So you're going to keep lifting up through the wrist and the hands, rising up into the balls of the fingers or the pads of the fingers, and then lowering all the way down. So take a couple more just on your own, feeling your forearms fire up as you do that. And this looks like it should be really easy, and it just isn't. And then the last one here. Releasing all the way down, spreading the fingers, rooting down through the first knuckle of the pointer finger of both hands. And then from here, tucking the toes, lifting the hips up and back, finding your first downward facing dog. As I always say, knees can be soft, legs can be wide, totally fine. Really ground down through the first knuckle of the pointer finger of both hands, spiral the sit bones up and back, low belly towards upper thigh. Breathe here. And then from here, you're going to take a deep bend into that right knee so that that right heel lifts up high. Take that left heel down towards the mat. From here, see if you can ground down evenly through both hands rather than rocking to one side or the other. Then from here, let that right leg be really light as that left heel's reaching down. And you're going to slide the shoulders over the wrist and drag that right knee up towards the right elbow. So it's like a plank, but with that knee in towards the elbow. And then come all the way back and step that foot straight down. Then from here, you're going to start to straighten through that right knee, reach that right heel down, soften through that left knee, lift the left heel. So you're feeling that big stretch to the back of that right leg. And then ground down through both hands as evenly as you can, and then start to drag that left knee all the way up towards that left elbow as you shift your shoulders forward. Find the plank, but with that knee hugged in nice and tight. And then from here, you're going to shift all the way back. Reach that left foot down. Hips come all the way up and back down, downward facing dog. One last time, same thing. Sink that left heel down, bend through that right knee. You're going to lift that heel up, let that leg be really light, and then gently drag that right knee towards that right elbow, and then maybe even a little higher up towards the armpit. Really root down through the pads of your fingers. And then from here, step all the way back. Then sink that right heel down. Bend through that left knee. Let that left foot be light. Your heel is lifted. Both hands are grounding down evenly. And then from here, slowly start to shift forward. Drag that knee towards that elbow. And then maybe lift that knee a little higher towards the armpit. And then from here, step all the way up and back. Full downward facing dog. Soften the knees, look in between the hands. However you'd like to make your way to the top of your mat. Let your head be heavy. Find your Uttanasana, your forward fold. Knees can be soft here. So notice if you're lifting your head, it's usually the tendency to lift it to some degree. Instead, can the top of the head be heavy? Can your arms be completely released? Can you feel that lengthening all the way through your back? And then from here, bending the knees. Rooting down through all three corners of both feet and rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Head is the very last thing to rise. Softening the shoulders away from the ears. Arms reach down by the sides, ground down through both feet. As you inhale, reach your arms out, up, and all the way above. Look up towards the fingertips, and as you exhale, open-hearted fold all the way over the legs, ground down through all three corners of both feet. Let your head go. From here, you're going to plant your left hand today right in the center of both of your feet and in front of it. And then inhale, lift that right arm up towards the sky. Take a twist. You can bend your knees as much as you need to do this. Then from here, we're going to step back like that. So root down through that hand and that right foot. You're going to step your left foot back to find a twisted lunge. You can drag that left hand back so that it's next to your foot if that feels right. Twisting and looking up towards the sky. As you exhale, you're going to put that hand down, that right hand down, and step all the way up and back, downward facing dog. From here, as you inhale, glide forward, find your push-up position, your plank position. And then as you exhale, knees can lower first or straight torso all the way down to the belly. as I hit my head on my water bottle. Release all the way down, untuck your toes, and then as you inhale, lift just the upper body. See if you can feel the low body on the mat, and unclench if you're clenching in your glutes or the backs of the legs. Lift through that upper body, find that engagement there. And then plant your hands down. And as you exhale, you're gonna find your downward facing dog. You can always come through hands and knees. From here, as you inhale, right leg reaches high to the sky. Exhale, curl the knee in towards the nose, step the foot in between the hands. From here, ground down through that left hand. As you inhale, right arm reaches up high. And then as you exhale, the right fingertips come down as you step that left foot forward. Find your Uttanasana, your forward fold, let your head go complete. As you inhale, soften the knees, open the heart, rise all the way up to stand. And as you exhale, hands palm to palm at heart center. Same thing, other side. Inhale, rising up with the arms. Exhale, folding all the way down over the legs. Let your head go. So from here, we're going to ground down through the right hand. Remember, knees can be bent as much as you need them to. As you inhale, reach that left arm up towards the sky. Take that twist from your belly, look up. And then from here, we're going to step that right foot back. So that left foot stays forward. Again, you can drag that right hand back to be in line with your foot. Take that twist up towards the left. As you exhale, left hand comes down, left foot steps back, find your downward facing dog. Inhale, slide through, find the plank position, tuck the tailbone, reach the heels back. As you exhale, lower down either knees first or straight torso, really root through the pads of the fingers. Inhale for your little cobra, or maybe you come a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, pull from your belly, find your downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg is reaching high this time. As you exhale, curl the knee in towards the nose. Foot comes in between the hands. Ground down through that right hand. Inhale to twist up. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Look up. As you exhale, left fingertips come down. You're going to float that right leg and find your Uttanasana, forward fold, top of the mat. Let your head go completely. From here, soften the knees, open the heart, rise up all the way to stand. And exhale, hands find heart center. Good. As you inhale, reach your arms out, up and above. And as you exhale, you're going to find a chair pose. So start to bend the knees, sit low. I know every time we hear chair pose, there's this like little pang of dread that goes through most of our heads. So as you sink a little lower, pull your low belly up, drop your tailbone down, lift your heart. See if you can reach all 10 toes off of the mat, but ground down through the big toe mound, pinky toe mound, and heel. Sitting here and breathing for 5, 4. Remember, exhale out the mouth can release some heat. 3, 2. And then as you rise up, you're going to drag your left knee into your belly. So rising up, left knee into the belly. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring the hands palm to palm, maybe a little moment in warrior 3, and step all the way back, hands frame that front foot. Root down through all 10 fingers and those first knuckles, suction the right knee into the belly and step all the way back. Find your downward facing dog. Inhale, glide forward, find a plank position. So you can lower the same way we did before, or if you'd like, lower halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale for upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, bend your knees, look in between the hands, step walk, or maybe a little hop. Find your Uttanasana. And then on the inhale, take the hands to shins, open the heart, look out in front of you, flatten the back. And then as you exhale, release all the way down, find your forward fold. Inhale, soften the knees, reach the arms out, up, and all the way overhead. And then as you exhale, hands find heart center. Inhale, rising up with the arms. Exhale, sitting low, Utkatasana. So low belly lifts up, ground down through all 3 corners of the feet. Drop that tailbone, lift the heart. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2. And on that next one, ground down through that left foot, rise all the way up. Right knee comes into the belly. And then from here, start to tilt forward, maybe warrior three for just a moment. And then your hands ground down, your foot grounds down. Plant your hands as you suction the left knee and step all the way back, find a downward facing dog. As you inhale, glide forward, find the plank. As you exhale, lower down however you'd like. Inhale for your back bend and exhale for your downward facing dog. From here, just take a couple of breaths. And then bending the knees, looking in between the hands, step walk, or maybe a little hop. As you inhale, hands find shins, back flattens, open the heart. As you exhale, release down over the left. Inhale, soften the knees, open that heart, reach your arms out, up and above. And then as you exhale, hands find heart center. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, release. Inhale, you're stepping your left foot back, keeping your right foot forward this time. Rising all the way up to find a high lunge, pulling up through the low belly. If you need a soft back knee, that can help, especially if you feel tension in the low back. Feel that stretch go through that right hip flexor. Reach your arms all the way up high. Both hip points are facing forward, the front of your mat, as if there were little smiley or googly eyes on each hip, and they want to face forward. As you exhale, you're going to open all the way up to find your warrior two on the right-hand side. Ground down through the outside edge of that back foot and really push down there. At the same time, notice if you're rolling to the inside or the outside of your feet and see if you can keep that weight even in all three corners of both feet. And then from here, as you inhale, flip your palms, reach forward, reverse your warrior, keep that front leg the same, big stretch to the right side. And then as you exhale, we'll find extended side angle. So everyone start with your forearm on your thigh. Your left arm reaches up and alongside the ear. Big tendency is to dump down and to shrug that shoulder into the ear. Ground down to the forearm, create space between the shoulder and the ear. Reach long through those left fingertips. Inhale, rise all the way up, sink a little lower into the warrior two. Exhale here, inhale, straighten through that front knee. Reach the right fingers forward, 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 and then down to the shin. Left arm reaches up towards the sky if it feels okay on the shoulder. Otherwise, hand to hip is fine as well. Spiral the chest open, triangle pose. Inhale, rise up, bend through that front knee. Ground down through all three corners of both feet, evenly, evenly. Sink a little low here. Inhale, flip the palms, reach forward. Find that reverse warrior, big stretch goes to the right side. As you exhale, forearm to thigh, once again, even if you can go deeper, left arm reaches alongside the ear. Big stretch goes through the left side of the body. Inhale, rise back up, warrior two. As you exhale, sink a little lower. Inhale, straighten through that right knee. Reach the right fingertips forward, down to the right shin. Left arm spirals up towards the sky. Nice, gorgeous opening here. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Warrior two, we have one more round. Exhale here. Inhale, flip the palms, big reach forward. Reverse backwards if you'd like to wrap that left arm around the back and tuck it into the right hip crease. That'll probably deepen that sensation a little bit for you. And then as you exhale, extended side angle. So either forearm to thigh or hand comes down to the inside of the foot. If you'd like to take that half bind, you can keep that arm wrapped or wrap it now. So left arm wraps around the back and tucks into that right hip crease. Chest is spiraling open wherever that right forearm is, doesn't matter. Either hand to the mat or maybe forearm to thigh. Keep opening the chest. And then as you inhale, you're going to unravel through that left arm. Reach the arm up towards the sky and then rise up. Find your warrior two. Straighten through that front knee. Reach the right fingers forward and then down to that right shin. Left arm once again all the way up towards the sky. From here, we'll work into half moon. So take that left hand, left hip, little softness in that right knee. Walk the fingers a little out in front of the right foot. Left foot can hop in. And then finding that half moon by pressing that weight into that left leg. Dragging the outside edge of that left leg up towards the sky. Flexing through the foot. And then eventually left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. From here, if you'd like to challenge the balance, You can float that bottom hand. You can wipe out, maybe like me. You can look up towards the sky or try looking up. And then when you're ready, we come all the way back to that triangle pose. So replant that right hand on right shin, reopen through that heart, reach that left arm up. And then as you exhale, cartwheel the hands down, frame that right foot, bend through the right knee, pop onto the ball of the left foot, and then drag that right knee into the belly and step all the way back, find your downward facing dog. From here, we'll all take a vinyasa together. Know that you can take a child's pose at any time. Inhale, glide forward, find your plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale for your back bend, and exhale for your downward facing dog. From here, soften through the knees, look in between the hands. Step, walk, or float top of the mat. As you inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, hands to shins. Open the heart, look out in front of you. As you exhale, release the torso down. Inhale, step that right foot back. Finding a lunge, you're going to rise all the way up, lifting from your low belly. Reach your arms up high, high lunge. That stretch will now go into that right hip flexor. Remember, back knee can be a little soft. It might even help to soften it first, lift your low belly, and then straighten it so that that weight is not dumping into the low back. Little smiley faces or googly eyes on each hip bone so that they're both facing forward like headlights, reaching the arms up towards the sky. And then on your next breath, you're going to open up. Exhale, warrior two. Sink low, but see if you can remember to root down evenly through all three corners of both feet. Notice if you're rolling to inside or outside. And then from here, inhale, flip palms, reach forward, reverse that warrior. And then as you exhale, extended side angle. Forearm comes to thigh, right arm reaches up and alongside the ear. So notice if you have a tendency to jump down, and then see if you can press through the forearm to lift up through the ribs, get some space between the shoulder and the ear. And then as you inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink a little lower. Inhale, straighten through that front leg. Exhale, triangle pose on the left side. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. On the next inhale, rise back up, rebend through that front knee. Exhale to sink a little lower. Inhale, flip the palms, reach forward, reverse your warrior. Exhale, forearm to thigh, even if you can go deeper. Extended side angle, right arm reaches long the ear. Rising back up on the next breath. Straightening through that front knee, reaching the left fingers forward, down to the shin, and then opening up through that right arm. Yeah, gorgeous. As you inhale, rise back up, find your warrior two. Exhale here, sink low. Inhale, flip the palms, reach forward, reverse. And this time, if you'd like a little bit more intensity, you can wrap that right arm around the back, tuck it into that left hip crease. And then as you exhale, extended side angle. So if you'd like forearm on thigh or hand to the inside of the foot, that right arm can stay wrapped or it can wrap later if you'd like to work on that half spine. Chest is again spiraling up, open towards the sky. Ground down through all edges of your feet rather than just the inside or the outside. And then on your next breath, unravel through that top arm. Use that arm and rise all the way back up. Find your warrior two. And then straighten through the front knee. Reach the left fingers forward, down to the left shin. Find your triangle pose. And then from here, we're going to work into half moon. So back hand can come to the back hip. Front fingertips can come a little in front of that left foot as you bend through that left knee. Hop that right foot in. And then eventually rising up through the outside edge of that right leg, finding that half moon pose, flexing through that right foot, and then reaching the right arm up towards the sky. From here, maybe you work on shifting the gaze up. Maybe you work on floating that bottom arm. Maybe you work on smiling and being kind to yourself with the wobbles and the falls and whatever may come. On the next breath, soften through that front knee, step all the way back, find your triangle pose again. And then rising back up, refining warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down, and then exhale, frame that front foot, top onto the ball of the back foot, and then pushing through the hand step all the way back, finding a downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. And then from here, as you inhale, slide yourself forward, finding a plank position. And then as you exhale, you're going to lower down to your forearms one at a time. And then either staying here for a breath, or you can work into forearm side plank. So remember, you can come to child's pose at any time. You can lower your hips at any time. If you want to try the side plank, you're going to take that left hand and bring it towards that right elbow. Then from here, start to spiral to the outside edge of that left foot. And then maybe right hand draws up towards the right hip. For a little more stability, the right foot is in front of that left foot. For a little bit more challenge, your feet are stacked on top of each other. Maybe you reach that right arm up towards the sky. If that arm is reached up, reach it back to the hip. Maybe slide the feet so that they're a little bit more balanced. Take that right forearm down, re-parallel your arms, and then sink your hips down to the mat. Untuck your toes. Everybody finds Sphinx pose wherever you just were, it doesn't matter. So forearms are down, shoulders are softening away from the ears, but the shoulder blades are also pulling towards each other, so you feel that upper back engagement. Notice if you're clenching your butt and see if you can unclench. Little tuck of the chin. Grow tall through the top of the head. Bring your breath into the space that you're opening through the chest, into that space that you're compressing in the upper back, the middle back, maybe the low back. And then from here, when you're ready, we'll refine that forearm plank. So tuck your toes, pull from your belly. Find stability here. So remember, you can stay here. You can come take a child's pose at any time. If you'd like to find this forearm plank on the other side, you're going to take your right fingers and reach them towards the left elbow so that your forearm is parallel to the front of the mat. And then you're going to start to spin to the outer edge of that right foot, taking that left hand onto your left hip. So from here, left foot can be in front of right maybe, or left foot stacked on top of right. Lift up a little through those hips. Maybe that left arm reaches up towards the sky. To come out, slowly slide that left foot maybe in front of the right for more stability. Left forearm comes down, recenter yourself, and then drop your hips, find your Sphinx pose. Untuck your toes, go taller through the top of the head. See if you can create a little more compression in the upper back by squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other a little bit more. You can walk those forearms or those elbows backwards a little bit in space as well. Notice if you're squeezing your butt and see if you can unclench. And then from here, when you're ready, tucking your toes, lifting your hips, finding your forearm plank once again, and then pressing into one palm and then the other. Full plank position, exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. As you inhale, your right leg comes high to the sky. As you exhale, curl the knee in towards the nose, foot comes in between the hands. Always feel free to help it get there. From here, warrior one. So warrior one's a little different than warrior two. Your back heel comes into where your back toes are. And your toes, so you're sliding down so that you're on the entirety of that back foot, but your toes are pointing towards the top left corner of the mat rather than towards the left. Bend through that right knee, reach all the way up with the arms and rise up for that warrior one. So the goal here is that your chest is facing forward versus the hips needing to be perfectly forward. They don't need to be perfectly forward. For some of us that works well, and for others of us it causes some torque. So work on that chest facing forward, that sinking through that front knee and that pushing down to the outside edge of the back foot so you feel that stretch go through that back calf. Breathe here. As you exhale, you're going to reach your arms back behind you. You can interlace your fingers and press the palms together if that works, or grab opposite elbows. Just have those arms behind you, whichever way that works for you. And then as you exhale, you're gonna open through the chest and then tip yourself to the inside of that right leg. So humble warrior. Let your head go. See if you can keep that strength in the legs as that torso completely releases. As you inhale, push down through the feet, rise all the way back up. Keep those arms behind you. And then straighten through that front knee. We're gonna take a pyramid pose, but keeping your arms as they are. Open through the heart, and then as you exhale, start to tilt the chest forward and release down over that front leg. So the front knee should not be hyperextending, but it should be straight or close to straight. You can come down as much or as little as works for you. Let your head go. And then as you inhale, soften through that front knee, rise all the way up. And then from here, last position with your arms behind you, we're gonna work on warrior three. So root down through that right leg, start to open through the heart, push down through that right foot, and then slowly, slowly tilt your chest so it's parallel to the mat, float through that left leg, left pinky toe spirals down. Couple of breaths here. And then slowly bend through that front knee, step all the way back. Find your warrior one. So reach your arms back up towards the sky, nice and luxurious. And then as you exhale, cartwheel the arms down, frame that front foot, hop onto the ball of the back foot and step all the way back. Find your downward facing dog. From here, inhale, glide forward, find your push-up position. We're coming down to the forearms one more time, so lower opposite forearm first than you did before. Come all the way down to those forearms. From here, we're gonna dip those hips down towards the mat, but not all the way. So as you inhale, hips dip down, not all the way, heart opens, and then as you exhale, lift from your belly and re-lift those hips. So inhale, hips dip below. Exhale, lift the hips, so you're lifting from your belly. 3 more, inhale, dip the hips. Exhale, pull from the belly. Inhale, dip the hips. Exhale, belly. Last 2. Very last one. And then on this next one, just release all the way down, untuck the toes. Find that Sphinx pose, notice that sensation in the upper body and the belly. And see if you can release fully through that lower body as you find that engagement through the upper back. Little tuck of the chin, grow tall through the top of the head. From here, you're gonna release yourself all the way down. Slide your hands back so they're underneath your shoulders and start to push through the palms to rise up to a high cobra or maybe a baby cobra. So here, keep your pelvis rooted down on the mat. Keep your low body rooted down on the mat, and then start to lift up through the upper body. Soften through the lower body, soften the shoulders away from the ears, open the heart. And then as you exhale, lift from the belly either through hands and knees or right to downward facing dog. From here, as you inhale, lift that left leg up towards the sky. As you exhale, curl the knee in towards the nose, footsteps in between the hands. So look at that back foot. You're gonna take that back heel and put it where your back toes are. And then your back toes point to the top right corner of the mat. Bend through that front knee, and as you inhale, rise up. Warrior one on the left side. So once again, it is okay if your hips aren't perfectly forward. That has a lot to do with the anatomy of our bodies. Your chest wants to be forward. That's the goal here. If you need to bring your right foot further out to the right, or your left foot further out to the left and right foot further out to the right, you can absolutely do that. That will help your hips be able to face further forward. Warrior one, I find to be one of the hardest poses in yoga. From here, remember, keep pulling up through the low belly. Feel that stretch go through the back of that right leg. And then from here, take your hands behind your back. If you interlace them on the other side, do the same thing on this side, just put your opposite thumb on top. Otherwise, grab opposite elbows, open the chest. As you exhale, ground down through all 3 corners of both feet. Start to tilt the chest forward and come to the inside of that left leg, humble warrior. So see if you can really find engagement through the legs as you release through that upper body, release your head. And then grounding down through your feet, rising all the way back up. From here, straighten through that front knee. So that knee doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It definitely doesn't have to be locked, but close to straight. From here, open the chest and then start to fold forward once again. So finding this version of pyramid pose where the arms are behind your back. Let your head go once again if that's possible for you. And then as you inhale, rise all the way up to stand. We're going to soften through that front knee. And we're going to find that warrior three variation with the arms behind the back. So ground down through that left foot. Start to open through the chest, but tilt it forward and then drive up through that back leg. As you spiral the right pinky toe down towards the mat, flex through that right foot, floating right leg. Breathing here. And then on your next breath, soften through that left knee. Step all the way back. Find your warrior one, unfurling the arms, reaching the arms up high. Victory arms, I like to call these. As you exhale, hands frame that front foot. Pop onto the ball of the back foot and step back. Find your downward facing dog. As you inhale this time, glide forward, find that plank position. One last little push, and then we are home free. So from here, if your wrists hurt, come down to the forearms. I know we've already done a lot of that. But if your wrists hurt, down to the forearms. Also, you can try grounding down to the first knuckle and then pushing down through the finger pads. From here, you're going to let your hips go over towards that left side just a little bit, and then come all the way back to center and hips over towards the right. Inhale back to center, exhale hips to the left. Inhale center, exhale hips right. Inhale center, exhale hips left. Inhale center, exhale hips right. Inhale center, exhale hips left. Inhale center, exhale hips right. 2 more times each side. Last one here. And then come all the way back to center. Last push, exhale, lower slow, as slow as you possibly can. And then inhale, find your back bend. And then exhale, find your downward facing dog. 2 breaths here, let everything flow. And then as you inhale, you're gonna draw your right leg high to the sky. And as you exhale, curl the right knee towards the right wrist. Find pigeon pose on that right hand side. So from here, your back knee can wiggle back. Release it down to the mat, untuck the toes. This right heel, the closer it is towards your groin, the less intense it'll be. The closer to parallel with the front of the mat, the more intense it will be. Make sure you can keep your hips square as best as possible, and then release over that tread leg. Feel that stretch go through that outer right hip. If you have knee pain on the right side, do not push through it. Instead, fall to that right hip. You're gonna slide that left knee a little forward. Right shin comes parallel to the front of the mat, and you're finding this deer pose where your chest can then turn and fold, and you'll get that same stretch in that outer right hip without that knee pain. So everyone's staying here for about 10 breaths, letting the head go, letting the chest release. On your next breath in, wherever you are, slowly walking your hands back up to sit. If you're in that full pigeon, just let your hips fall over towards that right side. You're going to slide that left knee all the way in, and you're going to step that left foot all the way to the outside of that right knee. You can always rearrange yourself, so you can curl that right foot in towards that outer left hip, sit up tall, really ground down through that left foot. And then from here, reach the left fingertips down behind you. Inhale to reach that right arm up. Notice what's going on with that left foot. Ground down through all three corners of the left foot. You might have the tendency to roll to the outside edge. And then from here, inhale, grow tall, and exhale, twist from your belly. Hook that right elbow to the outside of the left knee, and then start to twist. If this is too intense, grab onto that leg, and this is just as good. See if you can listen to your body rather than your ego. What does your body say? Notice if your shoulders are shrugging up towards your ears. See if you can soften them away. And then on your next breath, slowly, slowly, slowly unravel yourself here. You're going to reach both legs out in front of you. Before we go into the other side, we're just going to take a quick Paschimottanasana forward fold. So sit up nice and tall. If you need to move your flesh of your sit bones back, go ahead. If you need to bend your knees, go ahead. And then from here, just let your upper body completely drape over the low body. Find that release in the low back, middle back, back of the neck, maybe hamstrings as well. Let your head be heavy. And then on your next breath, roll yourself all the way back up to sit. Swinging those legs out behind you, refinding your way to your last downward facing dog of class maybe of the day. As you inhale, reach that left leg high. And as you exhale, left knee comes towards left wrist. Bring that left shin down. You can wiggle that right knee back and then release the back toe. From here, walk yourself up so you're centered. So you feel a nice stretch in that outer left hip. And then when you're ready, folding over that left leg and releasing all the way down. Once again, if there's any pain in that left knee, I'll demo deer pose. You fall over towards that left side. You bring that left shin forward. Right knee comes in. Turn the chest and start to fold over that left leg. Wherever you are, the idea here is to direct that breath to create some more space in that outer left hip. About 10 breaths here. And then when you're ready on your next breath, come all the way up to sit. If you are in full pigeon pose, just fall over towards that left hip. Everybody's going to slide that right knee up and step that right foot to the outside of that left knee. Left sole of the foot can come to the outside of that right hip. Plant down through that right foot. Notice the tendency for the sole of the foot to want to lift up. And then from here, reach that right arm behind you, lift that left arm up, big inhale. And then as you exhale, twist, maybe hook that elbow to the outside of that right knee, or maybe grab hold of that leg. Either is fine, both are equal. On your next breath, come all the way back to center. You're going to reach both hands back behind you and then walk both feet so that they're planted just in front of your hips, about hip distance apart. Then let your knees just sway from side to side. Finding center, sitting up nice and tall, reaching those legs out in front of you. One last forward fold. So again, if you need to move the flesh of your sit bones back, then great. Lift up through the heart, and then as you exhale, just let yourself release down. Let the top of your head just go. So notice the length you're creating all the way through your neck, your upper back, through your spine. On your next breath, roll all the way up to sit. Reach your arms out in front of you, tuck through your tailbone, and nice slow roll all the way down onto your back. From here, curl your knees into your belly. Give them a nice squeeze. We're going to do that thing where we create a lot of tension. So you're going to wrap your arms around your legs. Point your toes, flex your feet, clench your jaw, lift your head up. Maybe clench your hands into little fists. Create so much tension. Tighten your belly. Squeeze your glutes. All the tension you can create for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then relax every single muscle in your entire body. As you reach your legs out long, arms come down by your sides, feet flap open. Let your head be heavy, let your upper body be heavy, let everything just sink down. Find your Shavasana. Staying in the Shavasana for as long as you'd like. So no need to move or come out as I talk, only if you feel ready. If you'd like to come out, start to deepen your breathing, bringing movement, fingers, toes, wrists, ankles. And then when you're ready, knees curl up into the belly, give them a hug. Roll on over to one side. Press into the palms, head is heavy, and come all the way up to sit. So how many times do we go to those we love and trust the most, asking advice, seeking guidance, seeking support when we're struggling? And really, no one can tell us the answer besides ourselves. So I've noticed how hard that is for me. I'm somebody who's like such a know-it-all, who always has the answers. And so I used to kind of therapize my friends. They would ask me advice and I would give them all the answers, or they would come to me upset about something, and then I would give them a solution. And now what I've been trying to do is just hold space for them, just be there and say, yeah, that's really hard. What can I do to help? I'm so sorry. And it feels like uncomfortable and not enough to do that. But at the same time, that's the most important thing that we can do, is support somebody, tell them we're there for them, and tell them that we believe in them at the same time, right? Because each person already has those answers inside, right? They already have that thing that they know, and what they need to do is remember to trust themselves and look inside and take a breath. And the author Glennon Doyle, who's amazing, has this book Untamed, and in it she talks about her knowing. When she meditates, she accesses her knowing, which is kind of that voice of truth, which is in us, it's nowhere else. And there's a poem by Rumi that I think exemplifies this really well. There is a life force within your soul. Seek that life. There is a gem in the mountain of your body. Seek that mine. Oh, traveler, if you are in search of that, don't look outside. Look inside yourself and seek that. Oh, traveler, if you are in search of that, don't look outside. Look inside yourself and seek that. So may we all trust ourselves just a little bit more. And looking outside of ourselves for support is always okay, for advice and guidance. But can we trust ourselves more than anybody else? Our truth is already there. So thank you all so much for practicing with me this morning. Taking your hands onto palm at heart center. The light in me honors the light that shines so brightly in each and every one of you. Thank you.